Hello, everybody. So I've been having some good discussions with people, but mainly been composing music, which I'll be releasing in next couple weeks. Adaptations of piano work that I've done, annotating it for orchestra, so on and so forth. But a friend of mine, black guy, we got into a discussion, and we were talking about slave trade. He said, white people just don't know, what we've been through. And I corrected him. I said, you better take a closer look at history, my friend, and explain to him the Barbary Coast, North African slave trade. There was an active slave trade, white slave trade in Europe that probably included up to 1 million women. And everybody was involved in it. I've got Austrian, Austro-Hungarian, and Viking blood, Danish blood in me. And the Vikings, they would go into Ireland and they'd capture testarosas, red-headed women, and sell them to the Mideast and North Africa. You had slave trades in Senegal, in Tanzania. You see it everywhere, and it's a historical fact. So it's something that is hidden. They don't want to promote this, but happened for a long time. And I've been to Oman in the Middle East, and you just have to look at Sultan Qaboos, for instance. And so Oman is in the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula, very close to the Straits of Hormuz. That's where Iran controls a lot of the traffic. And it's a contentious area that Saudi Arabia and Israel would love to get their hands on, and the U.S., of course, too. That's that. What you see, he came back and he said, well, how come you want to debunk history? And I said, I'm not debunking history. I'm trying to open people's eyes to scripted narratives. There's reasons why there are images made. It's propagandistic. It's controlling what we perceive. You take, for instance, Doc Holliday. I use that name a lot on social media. And it's just a guy who lived, a little bit longer than Mozart. He was born mid-August 1851, died November 8th, 1887. And he had tuberculosis. He was a doctor. He was trained at the Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery. And he set up practice in a place called Griffin, which is Georgia. And what's funny is that he was diagnosed as consumptive, another name for tuberculosis. And it is claimed that he caught it from his mother when he was 15, and that she died from it. That doesn't make a lot of sense. That's not how tuberculosis works. It's usually quicker. And there's a contagious and non-contagion stage of tuberculosis. It's more likely that he caught it from, one of his patients. And so, at any rate, he gets out of Dodge, excuse the pun, gets out of Georgia, and he goes into Arizona. And this guy was a master gambler, but he was also a master at shooting. He had this propensity for accuracy that was well known by his friends and his associates. And he's one of the major guys who went after these outlaws called the Cochise County Cowboys. And they spread a lot of shit about him, spread rumors about him. And he ended up being deputized by Virgil Earp, so he had some federal power there, but the local sheriffs would continue to make him the outlaw. So this is a guy who was kind of a hero of mine early on. I remember just as a kid, I would go to the library and read up on him, anything I could. And so I started to practice with slingshots and BB guns, and got a hatchet. And my old man had a Japanese Luger from World War II, and he had it broken, but I secretly fixed it, and I'd go out and hunt rattlesnakes. And was a dead shot pretty young, early on. Back then in L.A., the cops saw that you're out there hunting rattlers, doing that kind of thing. They were cool. They were. It's not like it was now, which is, you got a tail light missing. They're going to definitely make sure that you pay a lot of money. It's all about money now in California. It's a franchise. It's everything is a profit center for government, and you've got these politicians who are wealthy as hell out there. Multi-millionaire. You need to be a multi-millionaire these days to live in California, and it's essentially collapsing because you probably have over 70,000 small businesses that are done and gone. It's a sad thing. It is. People have, sent a lot of vitriol towards California, which really should be aimed towards the politicians and not the people, because, the people are pretty cool. Our favorite state, among my friends was Texas. And always was. We liked the Texan spirit and could relate to Texans, and I've been to Texas many times and have a lot of friends over there, and they're very much like old California, where, as I said, as a kid, if someone challenged me, the boomer mentality, like it or don't, is if you were challenged, you didn't back down. If you ran away from a fight, you were a coward. It was pretty black and white. I saw an Isaac Cappy video where he was, laying it down on the millennial, saying, you guys didn't know what it was like to grow up, outside, observing nature, and he had a point too, which is, I rode my bike, I learned to hunt, learned to fish, learned survival techniques, had my share of fights, and a number of times with people bigger than me, and I'm a 6-footer, so a little bit over 6 feet. Sometimes I remember one time in 6th grade, I had to take on a guy who was already 6 feet, and I was still small. I must have been in 6th grade, maybe 5, 6. And I remember I literally had to leap up in the air to punch him, but he came down hard like a Goliath, because I was a pretty good fighter. I knew my stuff, and it was because I chose my heroes very carefully. For instance, Doc Holliday, who died at a young age but was known for his accuracy. It's the same thing with music. I chose Bach and Mozart and Beethoven. I didn't choose people who weren't adept at their craft. And so with what's emerging with this society, we're in a state of confusion, and we can sit there and rail and go crazy about the political morass that we're in, or we can turn off that theater and we can start to engage in good news, which is to explore why you're really here, to explore your creative gifts, to find out what you do best, to become a master carpenter or a master musician or or a poet or a wordsmith or whatnot. You don't have to hang on to that theater that depletes you. every day. The purpose, in my mind, is to gather strength, to get stronger as you go through life. And that's why I don't have much gray hair. That's why I've got a full head of hair. That's why I'm able to compose better now than I was 10 years ago, and 10 years before that, and so on and so forth. You get better with age. Become a fine wine. Become a really good Cabernet. Become a great Burgundy or Bordeaux, right? Become a first growth. So that's my philosophy of life in a nutshell. Thanks for listening, guys.